Hey everybody, this video is going to be the intro to a new series that I want to do in order to archive the best way to counter every single hero in the game. I basically want you guys to have a playlist where if you're having issues with X hero in the game and you're like, what would BSJ tell me about countering this hero? That's what this playlist is meant to be. This app is brought to you guys by Dota Plus, a completely free app that allows you to have all the information you need on your opponents when you load into the draft. You can use it when you're spectating live matches, or you can use it at the start of your games if you're wondering what heroes your opponent is looking to pick, what heroes they have been picking, and also receiving suggested bans based on the success and pick rate of the opponent's picks, as well as the heroes that you have already picked. So here I have loaded into a pub match, and you can see all the information that I was talking about. You can see the heroes that these players have recently played, highlighted in green if they have a lot of success, highlighted in red if not so much, and then the suggested bans for Radiant, as well as the suggested bans for Dire. This app is all about giving you that upper edge loading into the draft to make sure you don't get surprised by those heroes that your opponent has been spamming and that you are ready to deal with what they are going to pick. Check out the link in the description below and check out the app today to give yourself the best edge.
Banana slam jam.
This video is serving as an intro. I want you guys to be able to watch this and say, okay, this is how BSJ is going to break down all of the matchups moving forward so that it's more clearly understood if based on my role, based on like how do I counter this hero, all that kind of stuff, to make sure we understand what makes hero counters work in Dota and what makes them not, and understanding if your lineup already has a way to deal with a hero, etc. So breaking them down, I have 7 different categories with examples to make sure we're all on the same page. So first off, my first category is what role counters a hero. An example of this is that Phantom Lancer is a carry that is tough for most other carries to deal with because a lot of his counters are heroes that have AoE as well as the ability to get on top of him very easily. And these are heroes that are often mid laners like Lesh and Ember, while a lot of carries are single target physical damage, which is not very good against Phantom Lancer. So it is important to note that certain heroes are countered by different roles more often than not. Secondly, how the hero plays the map. An example of this is Spectre playing away from her team most of the time whenever her Haunt is available. So having the ability to 5-man and take objectives with like a objective-based Sieger such that the Haunt is not a threat to you for pickoffs, or having a hero that is able to bully Spectre out of certain areas so that she cannot farm by herself are very important aspects of countering Spectre. 3. How heroes play fights. So an example of this is backline heroes like Wyvern and Dazzle that represent saves. Often when you're playing against these heroes, if you initiate on their teammates, they will save them, most likely turning the fight. So understanding that these heroes are absolutely crucial to bring down first, and having backline jumpers like Storm Spirit and Void Spirit are very important when it comes to countering these supports. And if you don't have one of these, you're gonna have a tough time in fights. 4. Do you counter a hero by killing them or by making sure they don't kill you? It seems like a weird distinction, but let's go ahead and break it down so you guys understand better. So an example of a hero that makes sure they don't kill you is usually in the form of kiting. Archetypal example of this is Ursa. If he doesn't burst you with his first 6 overpower hits by blinking on top of you and bashing you, this hero's impact feels a lot less. So heroes like Venomancer that are good at kiting him and making it difficult for him to blink often deal with this problem, and items like Eul Scepter to disrupt his combo helps with that as well. The heroes that you have to kill are oftentimes heroes that, if they're not focused, will deal a ton of damage in a small amount of time and win the fights that way. So these are usually glass cannon heroes, such as like Drow and Sniper, and understanding that if which cores on the enemy team fit this description on each side will kind of help you understand, do we need to learn to kite them? Do we need to go on them? What kind of heroes do this? What kind of heroes don't do this? And what kind of heroes suffer against them bursting or them having long range damage? Will help you a lot in whether or not you have dealt with the enemy Drow or Ursa. Next up, number 5, we have power spikes / pace of the game that a hero represents. An example being, how many items does a carry need in order to fight? An example would be Medusa usually needs Manta plus Scotty, which takes over 20 minutes even at the highest level to get these items before she's ready to fight. As opposed to a hero like Slark that goes Echo Saber or Diffusal and he's already ready to fight pre 15 minutes. So a lot of heroes that counter heroes like Medusa are ones that are able to punish their weak points in the game when they're not ready to fight yet. An example of the pace of the game is heroes with long cooldowns like Faceless Void or Spectre are weakest against heroes that can punish those cooldowns by taking a lot of objectives in a small amount of time, like 2 or 3 minutes that the cooldown is available. So these heroes are actually countered by low cooldown summons push heroes, right? Because Faceless Void and Spectre, they don't really defend their towers other than their ultimate usage, and they're kind of a liability for the time that their ultimates are on cooldown when it comes to defending buildings. 6, understanding how heroes scale in the game. This is mostly based on survivability when it comes to carries as well as mid lane. So an example would be that Anti-Mage scales with mobility and magic resistance. So he's weak to stuns and physical burst damage, like Legion Commander and Slardar. While Terrorblade, as a carry, is high armor, low HP, hero that stands his ground with Metamorphosis in a range around him, and he's really strong in that range. So he's countered by magic burst or magic damage that outranges his Metamorphosis, like Tinker and Zeus. Very different ways to counter 2 different carry heroes. 7, having natural counters based on how a hero kills your hero. An example is a support like Disruptor. Generally, when he's getting kills, he will be using Glimpse to glimpse you back into his Static Storm to set up. So heroes that naturally dodge Glimpse are generally good against Disruptor to not be easy pickoffs. An example would be Void Spirit, who can dissimulate dodge the glimpse, or a hero like Jug or Lifestealer that can use Spin or Rage to make sure the glimpse does not go off. Otherwise, you would have to buy items to deal with this hero's way of killing you, and that generally means that that hero is good against your hero. So this is my breakdown of what it takes to understand counters in Dota, and this serves as video 0, ground 0, for my counters course. Every video in this course will include 3 to 5 heroes where I will be talking about using them as a reference for how we counter them if you're having issues with them in your pubs. So I hope you guys enjoy this course. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.